So, what would you like to talk about, if anything?
What?
Mm-hmm.
Today's topic probably in my head that's got me a little baffled is I paid a compliment to my daughter the other day. I said, you millennials cutoff game is real strong. And I'm not sure where it comes from because my era, yeah, of course you had your obvious cutoffs, but I still was exposed to the circling of the block is what they call it now, but the going back and forth. So that made me ponder on my own thoughts and decisions, you know. Is it because of old age? Is it because of maturity? Is it because of laziness? You know, that's the challenge at the moment.
Okay. So this whole cutoff game thing that you're talking about, what are we talking about?
How strong a family's opinion, obviously because of the information they've been provided, the one-sided information, their response is automatically going to be, don't touch the fire, it's hot. But individually, we don't see the fire as hot, so we keep touching. Is that a problem? Yeah.
Now, wait a minute.
Me, yes.
You're going to have to help me out just a little bit.
Okay, which part?
Well, what are you talking about exactly?
What? The topic for me, topic of the day is I gave my daughter a compliment and it blew my mind to even say it to her because she had such a different reaction to cutoff as me, as her father. So I was wondering how she got it. Oh, but she got it. And it's impressive because you don't want a child to keep going, run amok. You ain't learned your lesson. But is that to say I didn't learn a lesson or I have a little bit more patience?
Why did you give her this compliment?
Because again, her reaction to me doing anything that I've done in history is real strong. Hell no, don't do it. You know, that person just isn't it. You can't make them it regardless of how much you love them.
So wait.
Well,
let's clear this.
We go 40 miles an hour, you know this.
Well, let's clear this up. So, did she dump somebody?
I dumped somebody.
You dumped somebody.
And that somebody reached out to her.
Somebody reached out to her. Okay.
And she basically reacted with, move on, why would you call, don't call, beat it. Whereas she had no knowledge that I had been communicating with this one.
Okay, and you gave her the compliment for that reason.
I did because it's something I guess I eagerly want. You know, I can make decisions, don't get me wrong. Weigh it out, boom, make a decision. But the emotional attachment blurs it. The emotional breaks the normal mental process of making any decision. It's real easy. But other decisions are tied up in emotion and trauma, scars, healing, forgiveness, and to keep them in a certain category of moving forward, you know, it's not always clear what that moving forward looks like.
This person that you dumped, I'm assuming that he's from a distant past?
Recent.
A recent past?
Yes.
It's not anybody that I know, right?
Of course it is.
It is?
Of course it is.
Okay. Did I see him today?
You did.
So, when did this dump happen?
February.
Well, okay. So that ain't making sense because as far as I know, y'all been together since February.
Oh no.
Like after February, you know?
In March we were hanging out, but in February, that's when I broke it off. And that's when the other lady came up to the pool hall twice. And on that second round, I addressed her very respectably. And then I reached out to him, and he said, leave me alone, I'm moving forward. I said, okay. And then I went to Pete's, and he saw me get attention, and then he popped up at my house that following Tuesday.
I thought that, This is definitely
It's very
different from
cute
what he
because
told
you
me.
know the history. It's very adorable that you know the history. That's what makes it relative to
Yeah,
to
but it's
you.
different
And
from
it's
what he
like,
said.
who? See, key word, he.
Yeah.
Did I?
No. But typically what he says is believable.
Is it?
Typically.
Typically.
I thought.
You did.
Oh. What are you saying? You know him to be...
Remember in the fall when you tried to talk to him on my behalf, and you like, yeah, I see what you mean. You can't get a point across, you know. So
I honestly thought that you all had like straightened things out or something, just based on listening to him.
oh my,
That's
horrible.
really what I thought.
That's horrible.
So
I'm the loudest lady in the place, so you would listen to me.
I could have misunderstood.
You did?
Completely misunderstood.
Totally.
Huh.
I met with him at an Arby's, and you know me, I'm like, let's give it a shot because we're at this age. I don't want nobody new. I'm used to you, the familiarity, whatever the reason was. He looked me in my face and said, we're not gonna get back together real fast. I respect that. I agree with you. And that's what's been going on since.
He looked you in the face and said, we're not going to get...
Back together fast,
Back together fast,
Yeah, and I
okay.
said I can respect it because why would we just jump back together if the same things are going to happen, the treatment's the same, the response is the same, and it is. That's why we're not together today. Now,
And you
we've
say
been
he-
hanging out, yes.
And you say he called your daughter.
My daughter's car caught on fire last week.
Yeah.
And he happened to be at my house when I went to go check on her. So I didn't let him go check on her because she don't know what's going on. And I wouldn't tell her that until I made a decision. I'm gonna let him back in like that. So I go check on my daughter, praise God. She wasn't in the car, but the car did burn up. So he says, well, you didn't let me go check on her. I think of her as my daughter. And I'm like, so he reaches out to her. And the last time we broke up, he called and reached out to her and was saying, talk to your mama, she tripping, I love her, and threatening my children's father if they tried to get back with me. So I told my daughter, block him. She didn't listen, so that's how this round came about. And he called her and I said, well, you were wrong for reaching out to her. And he couldn't accept that.
Okay.
He did apologize to me, but he didn't apologize to her. But that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why the topic is, why is it so easy for some to cut doors,
Gotcha.
cemented, bricked up, and others it's like building feathers.
Well, a lot of times, this is just my opinion. A lot of times, I think it's our feelings that prevent us from being able to just cut somebody off and be done with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want. First of all, you tend to protect the next person's feelings,
True.
right? You don't
True.
want them to feel something.
True.
And then also, sometimes we're not sure
Totally.
if we just really want to cut things off or not.
True.
Somebody like me, if it's done, it's done. You know, and typically it takes the other person, depending on what the issue was, it takes the other person to come back and apologize, or if there's no apology due, they're gonna have to do some explaining, some talking, some truth telling, you know, to bring me back.
Convincing.
But if I say, hey, I'm done, I do not turn back around on that without some serious influence. That's me, though. Are you like that?
No, I did my own divorces. I've always been the dominant person in the relationship if I'm not happy or if this isn't comfortable or if it's too much. And that's kept me with the friendships of all my prior relationships. No bad blood, whatever it was, it was. If I see you, hello, hello. This one is the first one that has affected me in this way. And I say affect because it's not pretty.
Why do you think that is? This is the first time. Why do you think that?
I really would love to know that because I was show-stopping. I don't want to say laziness. I don't want to say fear or doubt. I will say a really bruised ego after being divorced for the second time for 5-6 years now. And the dating history has been so horrific up until I met him. When I met him, everything was different. Everything was actually great. Everything was positive. Everything was good. Saying all the right things. But then I learned the word of the year is narcissist. And now I know how to see what a narcissist does at any given moment and how to combat the narcissist. This narcissist that I fell for, unfortunately, has a situation where he stopped following his instructions, and I got to see that side of him, and that was a little much for me, but I don't know, call it being loyal or a good woman. I just don't want to leave somebody because they tripping. Now, they tripping too far, of course, they tripping too far. But if they're tripping and they don't know they tripping, that's hard.
And we say you stop following his instructions.
Yeah, medical instructions.
Medical instructions,
Yes,
okay.
yes,
I got you.
yes.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, I kind of heard a little bit about that.
It was.
And I didn't know, frankly, I should have known, but I did not know that he was on, any kind of meds like that. And then to find out that he wasn't doing it, and then to learn about the problems that came after that, it was like, wow, all right, he's
Okay.
he needs help.
Yeah. This is real. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not equipped, and I'm a strong black woman who has seen a lot and done a lot.
Because he seemed to be doing, well,
Today was a great day.
yeah, today's better, and then even Friday when I saw him, he seemed to be doing, closer to the normal him.
Yes.
Okay.
I assumed the change would only take 2 or 3 days, maybe a week. No, I was educated. It can take a month. And it's around that about 3-week point now of him being back on the right instructions.
Man, how long y'all been carrying on like this?
Which
Just the breakup and makeup thing, even
I'm
though
old
it
school.
sounds like it might be done, but
bless his heart, I broke it off in February. He's been assuming since we've been hanging out, that means I'm his. I told him the other day, no, I'm old school. You're going to have to ask me to be your woman. And when he asked me to be his woman, he was upset, irate, and I was upset and irate. And I said, F if no. So we're still, day in and day out, it's still true dramatic at the moment. I'm glad that I went through what I went through, because now I know I can love him from a distance, but I can't ever believe he would be a husband. That gone, and that hurt, but that's easy to say, gone. But my hangout buddy or lover
just can't be your man no more.
can't be my man.
I understand.
And I have to be a friend to him because, again, I wouldn't just want somebody to drop me because I have panic attacks. Okay, no one is equipped to know things, but they can either learn or step off.
Understood. So, anyways, this is the first, hopefully, of many where we kind of record these conversations. Now, right now, the things that the interviews that I do are going to go to a YouTube channel called the 816 Fix right now. But if there comes a time when I learn a better name or I start getting really focused in a particular area, because right now I'm not, but if I start getting focused in a particular area, then I might cook up a slightly different name. Do you mind if I post this?
I do not mind.
All right. So now I'm gonna stop. Well, first of all, before I stop, do you want people to know your name, or are we gonna keep it?
My name is Robin Gilmore,
Okay, Robin.
alias Robin. What?
Okay, Robin. All right.
No, I have nothing to hide.
All right, cool. Well, I appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for
Always
your
a
time.
pleasure. Always a pleasure.
All right.